Hello, my name is Chris if you didn't already know, and welcome to my show SmegChris Review. In this video I'm going to list my top 10 films of 2019. I know, I'm a bit late on that front. Blame the chest infection. But I was also waiting for a film that did come out in 2019 but I didn't get to see it until just last month on DVD. I'm going to talk about Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. I've been waiting for this film for, well, I don't know, about a year. So what did I think of it? Was it worth the wait? Well, I am a Kevin Smith fan and I love most of his films. The worst one was Red State. Oh, that was bad. Let me start by saying that this film did have me laughing out loud. Like, belly laughing, having to pause the DVD because I was laughing so hard. However, it was far and few between. The way I see it is, if you've not been following the film since Clerks, you're going to miss a lot of these jokes. I'm talking about Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and Clerks 2. There's even a little tie into Zack and Miri Make a Porno. A lot of the characters from those films return and we get to see where they are now. And if you've not seen those films, that's just going to go straight over your head. But because I've seen those films, I enjoyed it. I did notice there were a lot of similarities with Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, but it is called Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. And it did feel like it was rehashing that film a little, but it was the main aim because it's called Reboot. As for the story, like I say, it's pretty much the same as Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, but it does go off on a different tangent, because partway through the film, Jay finds out that he's a father. So even though we do follow one story that's familiar, we do get this other story that brings out a lot of sentiment, emotion, and a few more laughs. One of the great things about the film is the amount of guest stars that appear in it. We get some of the regulars back like Ben Affleck and Jason Lee, and we get some new ones like Chris Hemsworth and Melissa Benoist. And I have to add, it has been about 14 years since we've seen these characters, and some of them have aged considerably. And it was kind of a little off-putting as well. But the humour, that hasn't grown up at all. And I have to say, by the end of it, it did feel like that this is sort of like a bookend to the Jay and Silent Bob saga. But you never know. But I have to be honest, it did feel more nostalgic than anything else. But I did still enjoy it. Feels weird that I'm not putting a poster up, I'm just using the DVD disc. But anyway, in the end I give Jay and Silent Bob Reboot it was worth waiting for. So did Jay and Silent Bob Reboot make it into my top 10 films of 2019? You're about to find out. How do I do this again? It's been over a year. Well, there's the music. And then I start by saying, in 10th place, it just made it in. Just. Shame I couldn't see it at the cinema though, because I'd have done this sooner. In 9th place, Spider-Man Far From Home. Another great entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I can't wait to see what happens next with Spider-Man. In 8th place, Jumanji The Next Level. Another fantastic sequel. It's got great humour, plenty of adventure and fantastic characters. In number 7, Toy Story 4. A welcome return for these characters. This film was a joy for children and adults alike. I know because I'm both. In 6th place, Shazam. Despite it being a great film, I'm still mad that they've had to change his name. He's the original Captain Marvel. In 5th place, Captain Marvel. Another great entry into the MCU, and also the reason why Shazam is called Shazam. In 4th place, Fighting With My Family. This was one of those films that surprised the heck out of me. Not something I usually watch, but I'm glad I did. It's hilarious, it's sentimental, in fact it's just an emotional roller coaster. In 3rd place, The Rise of Skywalker, or as some people call it, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, or Star Wars Episode 9 The Rise of Skywalker. Me, it's just The Rise of Skywalker. It's hard saying that over and over. But this one is definitely the best of the sequels. In 2nd place, Zombieland Double Tap, my favourite comedy of the year. It was great seeing these characters return and I loved the new characters too. It was a long awaited sequel that was worth waiting for. And in 1st place, Avengers Endgame. Come on, it was fantastic. It had all the feels. And it had time travel, and as you know I'm a sucker for time travel stories, despite how many plot holes it had. But it's definitely my favourite film of the year. And there you have it, I finally got around to doing my top 10 films of 2019. If you've got your own top 10, feel free to leave it in the comments below. But anyway, it's now time for me to go. All that's left for me to say is thank you for watching and subscribing if you have, and liking this video if you did. Until the next time, peace out. I'm just trying to figure out in what order do I put the Jay and Silent Bob films. Because now Zack and Miri Make a Porno is part of that. I know Jay and Silent Bob weren't in it, but one of the characters from that film was in this one. So that makes it join it. I know that my favourite one is Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I absolutely adore that film. I think second would probably be Mallrats, then Dogma. This is where it gets a bit iffy. Because as much as I think Clerks is a classic, I actually enjoyed Clerks 2 more. So I'd probably say Clerks 2, Clerks, I suppose Zack and Miri make a porno, and at the bottom, Chasing Amy. As much as I did enjoy that film, I didn't think it was as funny as the rest of them. Oops, I didn't put that in the list. I'm going to put it between Clerks and Clerks 2. And I can't put Red State into that list because 1, Jay and Silent Bob have got nothing to do with it, and 2, it's terrible, so it goes down in the bin.